A bizarre discovery was made when it was discovered that some animals can live even after death. Weird, isn't it? Believe it or not, there are some animals that have this superpower. And today, you'll find out which animals are practically immortal. Are you curious? Join us and let's go. Number 15. Immortal jellyfish. The Turritopsis dohrnii jellyfish is one of the most intriguing creatures in the ocean, known as the immortal jellyfish. Measuring just 4.5 millimeters in size, smaller than your pinky nail, it hides a secret that defies the natural rules of life and death. Unlike most jellyfish, whose life cycle ends in adulthood, this species has the ability to completely reverse its development. When faced with extreme situations, such as physical injury or starvation, Turritopsis dohrnii initiates a unique process called transdifferentiation. At this point, it reabsorbs its tentacles and loses its ability to swim, transforming into a cyst-like structure. This stationary form attaches itself to the seabed and within hours returns to the polyp phase, the initial stage of its life. From there, the cycle begins again, with the emergence of new, genetically identical jellyfish. During transdifferentiation, the organism's specialized cells are reprogrammed to take on functions from another life stage, allowing the jellyfish to build an entirely new body. Under ideal conditions, this rebirth ability can make it biologically immortal. Number 14. The regenerative salamander. In a Mexican laboratory, scientists have observed something extraordinary. An axolotl salamander has regenerated not only a lost limb, but also part of its brain. These creatures have special stem cells that remain active even after severe injuries. In a matter of weeks, they can rebuild entire limbs, including bones, muscles, nerves, and blood vessels. The process is so precise that the new limb is virtually identical to the original. Some species can regenerate up to 60% of their spinal cord without any loss of function. Number 13. The microscopic hydra. Just imagine a tiny creature that looks like a strand of hair, but is practically immortal. The hydra is like that cell phone charger that works even after it gets all hurt. At just 30 millimeters when stretched out, this little survival ninja has a special trick. It photosynthesizes. It's like having a microscopic solar panel inside it. The green hydra has a partnership with algae. It's like nature's Uber pool. When it runs out of oxygen, the algae that live inside it provide it with all the air it needs. It's like having a portable oxygen tank 24 hours a day. The most incredible thing is that it can stay dehydrated for a long time and then come back to life just fine when it finds water. It's like that crushed packet of noodles at the bottom of your backpack. Add water and it's good as new. Scientists go crazy trying to understand how such a small creature can be so resistant. It's as if nature had created a mini Avenger. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 12. Mike, the headless chicken. In September 1945, a Colorado farmer named Lloyd Olson was about to create one of the craziest stories in science. He was going to do something completely ordinary, cut off a chicken's head for dinner. But this particular chicken decided it wasn't up for being a meal. Even without a head, the animal kept walking, trying to peck food off the ground and acting as if nothing had happened. Lloyd was so shocked that he decided to keep the chicken alive, feeding it a liquid mixture straight into its esophagus using an eyedropper. The craziest part is that the chicken, who was named Mike, lived for an incredible 18 months without a head. He became a celebrity, touring the country and appearing in famous magazines. Scientists discovered that a small piece of the brainstem was left over, the very part that controls basic survival functions. Mike weighed over 4 pounds at the time of his death and made a fortune that is the equivalent of $500,000 today. He ended up dying just because he choked on a piece of corn in a hotel in Arizona. Number 11. The indestructible cockroach. Who has never wondered why it is so difficult to kill a cockroach? These insects are true masters of post-mortem survival. A decapitated cockroach can live for up to a week without its head, continuing to walk, run, and even respond to stimuli. The secret lies in its distributed respiratory system. Small holes spread throughout its body called spiracles that allow it to continue breathing even without its head. Death only occurs because, without a mouth, it cannot drink water and ends up dehydrating. In addition, its nervous system is so robust that it can survive radiation levels 15 times higher than those lethal to humans. Number 10. The strategic praying mantis. Are you ready for a story worthy of a horror movie? The praying mantis is like that ex who doesn't know how to end a relationship on good terms. The female of this species takes the term "love that kills" literally. After mating, she literally devours the male. But wait, the story gets even crazier. The male's body doesn't just become a snack. It's as if it becomes a natural protein shake that helps produce more eggs. Scientists have discovered that the male's body is not digested right away. It becomes a kind of reserve of premium nutrients for the next generation. It's as if the guy is saying, "Okay, you ate me, but at least I'll help raise the children." The craziest thing is that this strategy works so well that a single female can lay hundreds of eggs after a single romantic encounter. Next time someone complains about having a bad day in love, remember this story. At least no one turned into dinner, right? Number 9. The immortal serpent. A Texas rancher learned the hard way that decapitating a snake doesn't necessarily mean killing it. After cutting off the head of a rattlesnake he found in his yard, he tried to pick it up and throw it away. The result? The severed head bit him, sending him to the hospital in critical condition. Snakes have an extraordinary nervous system that keeps their brain cells functioning for up to an hour after decapitation. Their reflexes remain so sharp that they can detect threats and strike with deadly precision. The venom also remains active, sometimes even more concentrated due to the stress of the trauma. Number 8. The mysterious octopus. The octopus's tentacles are an evolutionary masterpiece with a life of their own, literally. Each arm has its own mini-brain with about 40 million neurons, allowing it to continue moving and responding to stimuli even after it's severed from its body. In Japanese restaurants that serve live octopus, the tentacles can grip customers' chopsticks hours after they've been cut off. Scientists have discovered that these limbs have independent muscle memory and can perform complex tasks like opening jars or solving small puzzles even after they've been separated from their main body. Number 7. The wood frog. In the middle of an Alaskan winter, something incredible happens. The wood frog freezes completely, becoming as hard as a rock. Its heart stops beating, its organs stop functioning, and 65% of the water in its body turns to solid ice. For any other animal, this would be certain death. But this little amphibian has a special trick up its sleeve. Its liver starts pumping glucose to every cell in its body, acting as a natural antifreeze. It's as if each cell gets its own winter coat. When spring arrives, something even crazier happens. The frog literally comes back to life. First, its heart starts beating again, then the other organs kick in one by one, as if someone were flipping on the switches in a house. Within hours, it's hopping around like nothing ever happened. Scientists have discovered that they can do this more than 10 times in their lifetime, with each freezing process lasting up to 7 months. It's like having a supercharged hibernation power. Number 6. The zombie fly. You know that annoying fly that you try to kill 1,000 times and it always escapes? Well, there's a scientific explanation for that, and it's crazier than you might think. These little flying ninjas are practically immortal when it comes to low temperatures. You can freeze a fly for days, like that popsicle forgotten in the freezer, and when it defrosts, ta-da! It comes flying back as if nothing had happened. But wait, there's more. Female flies can live for several days after losing their heads. Just imagine. They continue to fly, walk, and even do those annoying maneuvers in the air. It's like a drone without a pilot. Scientists have discovered that they have such a complex nervous system that each part of their body works on its own. It's as if each little piece had its own tiny brain. The next time you see a fly, remember, you're not dealing with any old insect, but with a little survival machine that not even decapitation can take down. Number 5. The immortal planarian. Imagine an animal that you can cut into 279 pieces, and each piece turns into a whole new being. It sounds like science fiction, but that's exactly what the planarian does. This small flatworm is practically indestructible. If you cut its head in half, it grows 2 heads. If you split its tail, it grows 2 tails. It's as if every cell in its body has a complete construction manual stored inside it. The most amazing thing is that these new parts are not just for dressing up. They work perfectly. If a planarian loses its eyes, it regenerates new ones in just 5 days and can already see normally. Their stem cells are so efficient that they can transform into any type of tissue needed. Some scientists have even discovered that they can regenerate memories. If you teach a planarian to find food in a maze, cut it in half, and wait for it to regenerate, both parts will remember the way. It's like backing up a computer, only with a living animal. Number 4. The enigmatic turtle. Here's something that will blow your mind. Sometimes it's impossible to tell if a turtle is dead or just taking a really long nap. These creatures are true masters at confusing everyone with their vital signs. A veterinarian in Florida had a bizarre experience when he declared a turtle dead, put it in the lab fridge. Standard procedure, folks. And the next day, found the dead thing wandering around the kitchen. The trick lies in their super slow metabolism. So slow that sometimes you can't even tell if they're breathing. Their hearts are an amazing machine that keeps beating even without receiving signals from the brain. It's like a car on autopilot. Even without a driver, it keeps going. And that's not all. Turtles have a very high concentration of ions in their bodies, which keep their muscles working even after the rest of their bodies have given up. That's why a turtle can keep moving hours after it's technically dead. They're so resilient that they can survive months without eating during brumation, a state similar to hibernation, only more extreme. Number 3. The invincible tardigrade. Have you ever thought of a little animal that survives in space, can withstand being boiled, frozen, and still comes back fine? I present to you the tardigrade, also known as the water bear. This microorganism is so tough that it has already survived a crash on the moon. Yes, they literally sent it to the moon and it came back fine. Just imagine, you can dry a tardigrade until it turns into a deflated little ball, leave it like that for years, and when you add a drop of water, poof, it comes back to life as if it had just taken a nap. It's like that guy who falls asleep on the bus and wakes up exactly at his stop, only much more radical. Scientists have discovered that they have a special protein that forms a kind of molecular armor when things get ugly. They can survive pressures 6 times greater than those at the bottom of the ocean, temperatures close to absolute zero, -273 degrees Celsius, and even radiation 1,000 times stronger than that, which is lethal to humans. If a nuclear apocalypse happens, you can bet that the tardigrades will be there, calm, probably playing cards and waiting for everything to pass. Number 2. The indestructible fruit fly. If you think cockroaches are hard to kill, you need to meet the fruit fly. This annoying mini helicopter is like that friend who always gets out of trouble. The guys at Mythbusters did a crazy test. They put these little flies to compete with cockroaches in a radiation resistance test. Guess who won? The flies. It's like a competition between a tank and a Fiat Uno, and the Uno came out on top. They can survive being frozen, like a popsicle with wings. They can withstand a round in the microwave. Don't try this at home. And they even fly around like they just got out of the spa. The secret is in their DNA. It's so well protected that not even nuclear radiation can mess with it. It's like having a backup on 15 different HDs and still saving everything in the cloud. That's why when they invade your kitchen, it's easier to make friends than to try to get rid of them. Number 1. Bee. Bees don't have to be alive to cause problems. Even after they're dead, they can still sting. This doesn't mean they'll fly around and attack you, but their stinger remains functional, along with the system that injects the venom. This mechanism, oddly enough, remains active even after the bee is gone. The process is simple but ingenious. When a bee stings, the stinger detaches from its body and gets stuck in the victim's skin. Along with it, there is a small organ that works like a venom pump. This organ contains the venom and has tiny muscles that continue to pump the substance into the skin, even if the bee is no longer alive. And the most curious thing, all of this happens without the need for a brain to command it. The action of the stinger is controlled by involuntary impulses, which means that even a dead bee can pose a danger. Do you know of any other animals that can live even after death? Tell me in the comments below. Take advantage and click on this video now because I have separated it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, Curious one.